Good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank, the exclusive banking partner of the Digital Weather Desk. Happy Monday, everybody, and thanks so much for taking time out of your morning to take a look at the forecast, which does include some changes as we go through this week. This week's forecast made possible by ServPro, Monroe West Monroe, faster to any size disaster, water, or fire damage, mold, storm repair. Call or click servpro.com today. Visible satellite, sun's up. So we can see at least a little bit of the cloud cover. This is not obviously the brightest image that we'll see today because the sun is still kind of climbing up into the sky, but I think this is a better indication of what we're dealing with versus the infrared. And you can see some morning fog, it looks like, is hanging around across portions of our river valleys, but also quite a bit of cloud cover to start the day on this Monday. We do have changes in store, and I know that if you follow a lot of weather folks on social media, not me. Well, you probably do follow me. But if you follow other folks on social media over the weekend, which is fine, you probably heard a lot about severe weather and heavy rain threats in our area later this week. And folks painting pictures, it's going to be this area. There is still not a lot of certainty regarding this week's forecast. And I could have painted the same pictures and sent them out to you and alerted you. And we do, I did post the thing earlier, late last week, Thursday, talking about the pattern change that's on the way. In full disclosure, though, it does look like the atmosphere's kind of trying to fight back against that pattern change and go, not yet, I'm not ready yet. And so we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens later this week. Visible satellite, again, shows quite a bit of cloud cover across the region. The radar products is always made possible by Brown's Roofing. Ongoing is their cold weather drive. Continues for about another 2 weeks or so. Again, you can go to brownsroofingla.com for the latest on all the drop-off sites. There are a bunch of them across the area. And, of course, you can also just schedule a pickup if you have a big enough donation that they need to just come get it. Again, radar shows actually some rainfall. Not much. Pretty spotty across central Arkansas. And if you check the app or if you check the forecast at digitalweatherdesk.com, you probably noticed that we threw some 10% rain chances back in for the rest of the day. And it's kind of for that general spotty, transient stuff that's not expected to really be a problem in any area. But if you did get caught under a shower, you shouldn't be absolutely surprised. Temperatures are starting to climb this morning, already into the low to mid-60s in some areas. Upper 50s still hanging on in El Dorado. They're one of the cooler spots on the map. Everybody else is starting to warm up pretty quickly. In fact, we're already to 70 degrees in Shreveport. Compare that to where we were 24 hours ago, and most spots are warmer than they were yesterday. Bastrop, El Dorado, kind of the exceptions, but the warming trend continues. And in terms of that, low-level moisture is also on the increase. May, good morning to you as well. Hopefully you're having a great start to your week. But dew points 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s across southern Arkansas. Weak boundary passed through the area, kind of reinforced that dry air, but the southerly flow's already grabbing Gulf moisture and kind of sending it back toward the I-20 corridor where most of the dew points are in the low to mid-60s. Wind speed's not much of a factor this morning out of the southeast, but we set the stage for change. Again, not necessarily maybe as sudden and as dramatic. It may just kind of be gradual changes, especially as we head toward the middle part of the week. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. Again, limited stock on youth ATVs and side-by-sides this year, so head over to I-20 frontage road and check out what they've got with Mike and the guys today. They'll get you squared away, and as always, tell them that Jared sent you. They may ask you to leave. Sunshine back in by tomorrow. I expect to contend with some cloud cover through the course of the day today. Weak front approaches from the northwest. And then the sunshine really wins over as we go through the day on Tuesday. We also compress the air a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some areas a little bit warmer. Then the rain starts getting going to our west. The upper-level trough of low pressure that we've been talking about and some disturbances within that trough start to fire off a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity through the Red River Valley, western Arkansas. Most of this generally looks to miss us west on Thursday. The first round of thunderstorms really stays well west, Dallas-Fort Worth area, I-35 corridor into western Arkansas and the Ozarks. We could maybe catch the tail end of some of that activity across southern Arkansas. Rain chances are higher for you folks versus your North Louisiana or western Mississippi counterparts as we go through the day on Thursday. As we work into Thursday night, we await the next front, which really won't push through our area until probably sometime on Friday. but there will likely be some thunderstorms ahead of it in this kind of prefrontal trough zone that will likely drive some thunderstorms and probably some sort of severe weather threat on Thursday, although I think the severe weather threat, once it kind of gets outlined, will probably be farther to our west. It could include our area, but it'll be focused probably west. And again, obviously, this is working off the forecast that's built in my head now. As the trough and the front advance eastward, a lot of the computer models are insistent that the rain moves through our area. We're going to see rainfall, but in terms of coverage and guaranteeing that everybody's going to see rainfall, that's a hard sell at this point. I'm just being brutally honest with you. Futurecast, and this is a kind of more of a global model. This is the GFS, and again, GFS has been absolute hot garbage for the last couple of weeks. It's okay. The it's a computer. It doesn't have feelings, so it's not like I can hurt its feelings by saying that, but it's the truth. And it shows the scattered stuff staying to our west Thursday morning, and then scattered stuff kind of progressing through our area Thursday night into Friday morning, and then lingering storms through the day on Friday before we kind of get that first disturbance out, and the clouds are quick to return, and we could see rain chances early on Thanksgiving week. It does still, the thought process is still there. It still looks to kick off a more active pattern. It still looks to bring rain back into the region more frequently than we've seen it, and it still looks to make probably a fairly sloppy Thanksgiving week. Not necessarily an absolute washout, although that's possible. But again, just trending toward more rain than we've seen. Of course, in social media world, and I have to stomach it when I say this, but unfortunately, I am one of them now. In social media world, there's so many folks that want to be first, and they don't necessarily care about being accurate. I have the viewership here, and I know you folks very well, that if I were to jump off the deep end and tell you all this gloom and doom that was coming towards us, and then it doesn't happen, I'm going to answer to you guys. And I just, again, it's not one of those, the clicks do not matter that much. They matter. I need you folks to share and disseminate this content so everybody can see it. But there's a lot of stuff that, is not overly urgent. And so many folks have just hit alarm bells telling us, get ready for severe weather and heavy rain. I think there's going to be some areas that see severe weather and heavy rain this weekend. It just may not be our area. We can't say that with a lot of certainty. Forecast rainfall over the next 7 days. I know these numbers are pretty extreme. I see 2 and 2.5 inch rain totals across the region. But again, keep in mind that stretched out over 7 days. Those rain chances could start as early as Wednesday, Thursday in some spots, and could stretch out through Saturday, Sunday, Monday, well into early parts of next week. So, again, while this kind of paints with a broad brush that widespread and maybe potentially heavy rainfall could settle back into the area, again, this is not a forecast graphic that gives us a lot of specifics. So, something to keep in mind. Claudia, good morning to you. Joel, good morning to you. Daytime highs today, upper 70s to low 80s. Again, approaching records in some spots, but most of us are just well above normal. Winds will be out of the south, maybe even the southwest by the end of the day. And again, the winds could be a little breezy at times. Lows tonight, low 60s. Again, the low-level moisture streams in. Some occasional clouds will probably start the night mostly clear, end the night mostly cloudy. As the clouds roll in toward daybreak, very similar to what we saw this morning, and we'll kind of repeat that process through most of the week. 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Again, low 80s highs Tuesday, Wednesday, morning lows in the low to mid-60s, and the rain chances I've kept very conservative into next week. They're there, and they're high enough for you to go, oh, rain's back in, but not high enough to say we're going to see rain this day. We're going to see severe storms this day. I really kind of created some flexibility in the forecast just so we can get there when we get there. Again, there's just not a lot of confidence, and I'd rather have a forecast that I felt really confident about, that I could go, okay, here, let's start finding the details and kind of the devil's in the details kind of thing, and let's jump into this. And we just don't have that yet. I think we'll get there. Obviously, forecast always usually becomes more clear as we get closer to it, and we're still several days away. Now, we've been talking about it for a while, but that's also because, quite frankly, there wasn't anything else to talk about. And that's something that we also have to be really honest. Some weather events get more attention than others just because it's the first weather event in a long time. And so for folks that do this for a living like me, you have a tendency to go, we have something to talk about, instead of pumping the brakes and going, it's something, but if I talk about it too much, then everybody thinks it's this big significant weather event when it's really not. Joy, Janice, good morning to you folks as well. Yeah, I don't like to, and I don't think a lot of folks hype the weather on purpose. I think it's an unintentional thing. We get excited about the atmosphere. We get excited to see things happen in the atmosphere, so you can kind of test your science, test your knowledge, see how things happen. We're nerds. We're big weather nerds. We like to see neat things happen. That's why I love winter weather, because as long as you're smart about not going outside, winter weather is not as life, death, oh my gosh, we can have a little bit more fun with it. With severe weather and hurricanes and stuff like that, you obviously have to be much more serious, and you don't want to sit there and joke around when folks are, worried about, protecting life and property. I saw a Facebook post yesterday that did that horribly. But anyway, neither here nor there. Your Too Long Didn't Read comes out about 9:30 today. Everybody's back to 100%. Well, the kiddo's back to 100%. Mom and Dad are, I think, getting the leftovers of whatever she had, but that's okay. We're fine. Too Long Didn't Read later today, this morning, midday stream, evening stream. We got a lot of stuff going on. And obviously this forecast is going to need some work this week. It's not just one of those Ronco set it and forget it, I hope y'all remember those infomercials. But it's not one of those set and forget forecasts. It's gone. All right, it's going to be quiet all week. This forecast is going to need a little bit of massaging and a little bit of work. So I will provide that as the week progresses. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I'll catch you around lunchtime. Enjoy your Monday, and thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. As always, I'm glad you're here. Enjoy your Monday.